Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In the last video, we have done this project till here where we had printed some random Fibonacci numbers in the application. In this video, this is also a beginner video. In this video, में हम ये करते हैं कि that will see the networking side of the project. And in order to do that, we need an API. So I thought to create my own API for the Fibonacci. काफी time से I was thinking that to get into the backend. So even for the Android devs, you need to understand the minimum side of the what happens in the backend. So I thought to show you a little bit intro to how to create APIs वगैरह. Start करते and initially what we can do is we can go into the desktop, and if you don't have npm in your system, you can create that. You can install the npm from the Node.js site. This is a usual procedure. We can create a maker. We can do something like FIB backend. So using this FIB backend, we'll create some backend API, and we can go into this in here and do the npm in it. If you don't have a npm in your project, then you will get an error here. So make sure you install the npm before you run this command, and press OK for everything. Enter. And once you completed this, you'll get this FIB backend and cake project milta hai. And what you can do is, let's open the Visual Studio Code. I feel Visual Studio Code is a little bit good. If you have any other things, you can also open that, and you can go in here. अभी इसमें okay. Okay. So let me open it up. Yeah, once you get into this project, what you can do is again go to this terminal and type npm install express. So express is a library for the Node.js where we can create the server in a little easy way. अभी इसमें हमको मिल गया express, and you can do something like create a file called app.js. In the app.js, we have to create that API. Let's see how to do that in the Express documentation itself. Expressjs.com. I think that's a website. How to hide it. And इसमें आते हैं getting started. So whatever I did before is from this website. I directly had a look into it this before how to do it. And once we go to here, we initially have some code in here. Let us do the copy pasting, Control C and Control V in here, the app.js main. So what it says, const express is equal, it is importing express, and we are running it in the local host in the port 33. Let's so इसको run करने के लिए we have to do node app.js. So it is running in the port 3000 right now. So if I do localhost colon 3000, see we have get the hello world, which is what we are doing it in here. Response dot send hello world whenever we get to this. So abhi, let's build the API. So whatever the things that I'm doing here can be little not able to use in the production for the backend, but this is just for the demo. So app.get, you can do slash FIB numbers, and let's take the request and response. Call back. So so whenever we get into that slash FIB numbers, then we should see something like FIB numbers. Test करते हैं अभी. Press Control C in the terminal and press node app.js again. Now if we go to in here and slash FIB numbers, we should be able to see this. राइट, ठीक है। अभी इसको थोड़े बार साइड पे रखते हैं। एंड राइट नाउ वी हैव टू, so whenever we are designing this FIB numbers API, we should be taking a query of how many Fibonacci numbers we want. So we should take some query as a number, and whenever we are sending the response, we should be sending it in the something like क्या कहते हैं, FIB numbers JSON object, and we should be able to send a list from here in the JSON object में. So this is what we are trying to do. In the JSON object, we are sending a key called FIB numbers, and then the FIB numbers, we should be able to get our FIB Fibonacci numbers based on the number of the query we passed. Like query हम कैसे pass करते हैं? Like we have to FIB number is equal to 10. We can do something like that, and we will pick that 10 number from there. How we do that? We can do this in this way. Request dot what is it? Request dot query dot number. So this number is whatever I pass in that browser. If you can see it in here, this is that number. So usually to pick all the query parameters, we do this sorry, request dot query. So abhi hum we can do something like console.log to check if we are getting what we are want. Console.log. So let's restart the server again. uh, so once we go to this, what happened? So yeah, you can see 10 here. As soon as you notice there's a 10 here, because I pass it 10 there. If I pass something like 20, 120, let's see if we get, see we got the 120 here. And Abhi, let's take this number. So we can do let number is equal to request dot query dot number, एंड हम इसको पास करना पड़ता है टू द गेट एफ आई बी नंबर्स फंक्शन में. We'll write the function in here itself. So usually in the production way of writing code, this is not how we write code. We don't write functions here. Everything we follow separation of concerns. But as Node.js is not main part in here, we can do this right now. Let's take the number parameter and इसको करते क्या है. Let's pass the number from here. Okay, ठीक है. So let's create a let list is equal to empty list, uh, which is what the our Fibonacci numbers list, and let I is equal to 0. अभी इसमें करते हैं for I equal to 0, I is less than number plus plus, and हमको क्या करना है, var fib1 is equal to 0, var fib2 is equal to 1. uh, Fibonacci logic again, the same logic which I wrote in the Android app, I can simply take it from there. Yeah, I can write it simply. So fib1 list dot push of क्या कहते हैं, fib1, and fib1 is equal to a temporary, fib1 is equal to, so let temp is equal to fib1 plus fib2, and in the fib1 we can store right now fib2, and fib2 may is equal to temp. So this pretty much serves the API part, and once all these things completes, we should be able to return the list. And Huh. Let's console.log again. Let's see if we write everything in the right way. Uh, and Control C, node app.js again. Let's go to this and pass the number 10. Yeah, we did everything rightly, and we are getting the all these Fibonacci numbers here in the console log. So अभी इसको हम सेंड करना पड़ता है resource dot json as we want to send it in the JSON format, and this is the JSON object. We can send it in the FIB numbers with, and we can pass that list, which is get FIB numbers, the number. So we let's restart the server again. Control C and node app.js, and अभी इसमें check करते हैं number is equal to 10. See, we got that API response. This is our API response, and we can be so right now our Node.js wala part is completed. We right now we will get into the Android part. In the Android part में. So in order to do the networking, first thing what we have to do is we have to create a different layer called repository pattern. We should be able to use that repository pattern. Let's shortly call it as a repo. So view model duty is only to provide data to the activity or UI elements, but we need some kind of the data from some source. So this view model job is to provide data to the UI, but where does this view model gets the data from? It needs to get from some source, and this view model shouldn't be aware where the current logic is, sorry, where the data is coming from. For that we'll use something called repository pattern. So we created that repository, and so we'll create a new file in this called repository class repository, and इसमें we can do fun get FIB numbers, and it is supposed to send us a list of integers. Okay, अभी तक हो गए. We'll connect all the dots and we'll integrate the networking layer in this. In the Gradle, so in order to do the networking, we need some libraries, which is a retrofit, and we'll also use coroutines. Coroutines is a newer way to do the background jobs and things like passing to a different thread and all those things. We'll do it with a coroutine. Whatever the background jobs happen in the Android or Kotlin projects, coroutines is a new way to do. So let's first import this retrofit library. We'll do something like says retrofit Android, and we'll get the first link. And this may we need the this part, Gradle part implementation. So let's do this. And latest version, I know it is 2.9.0 as I used it yesterday itself. And if you're unsure about it, you can directly go to the uh, GitHub, and you can verify it in here. The latest site is a 2.9.0. And we also need something like a parser, which can be Moshi. Moshi is a recommended library in the Android to do the passing. Let's find implementation. Where is it? Yeah, we found it. Let's go back to it. Right. And let's do this. And अभी ये हो गए. and we also need this code generation, and we also need a converter which uses the Moshi. Uh, so Moshi is a separate, completely different parsing library, and uh, we need this retrofit to connect with this Moshi, which we can do it with the uh, retrofit connector. Let's go to in the documentation. It should be available. GitHub page. Let's search for something like a retrofit Moshi. Mm, retrofit converters. Oh, this is the one we want. And the latest version is 2.9.0. So this converter version will always be same as this, so not to worry about. So let's sync up the project. What happened? Line number 52. Okay, it is saying that could not find method cap. So in order to use this cap, we need something like a plugin called ID Kotlin cap, Kotlin KAPT. And if we do the sync, now everything should go fine. So we need coroutines. Uh, coroutines के लिए we'll do for Linux coroutines. I think this is the one right here. And let's search for implementation. Yeah, it's already in there. And let's copy paste. And also we also need the Android wala part. Right now this is just Kotlin coroutines core, and we also need this Android coroutines, which is in which we will get the main dispatcher, which is a UI thread dispatcher. It should be same. The version should be same. GitHub. Okay, अभी हो गया dependencies का काम, and right now we can focus on our logic. So in the repository, let us create a network package, and in the networking may we need पहले पहले we need something like API, which is an interface, and we also need something like a retrofit client, or you can simply name it as the API client. This can be an object. I'll tell you why this is an object. Uh, so in this we need a retrofit is equal to a retrofit dot. This is how we do the create the networking layer. Retrofit dot builder. This may add converter factory. For converter factory, we use something like a Moshi, as we imported it already. We can do what's happening. Moshi converter. Array, yeah, this auto and this is not working, and I don't remember that name. Moshi converter. देखते हैं क्या होता है. Moshi इसमें Moshi dot काम करते हैं. अरे यार, let's go to the documentation itself. And अभी इसमें क्या है? हाँ, we can find it in here. Moshi converter factory dot create. Again, part of our jobs. And we also need something like I think this should do dot create. So this is dot build. And once we okay, and we can create something like API dot class dot Java. this instead of retrofit we can name something like an API. So अभी इसमें हो गए this series of type API, and in the API में पहले आते हैं what kind of thing we need. Fun, get Fibonacci numbers. So, and it is supposed to return us a response of Fibonacci. And this will accept a query parameter of number, and it is a number of type int. This can be a suspending function as we are using the coroutines. And अभी इसमें क्या है? हाँ, this is a get API call. Oh, it's happening. Suspend fun. Let's again go to the documentation. I did this long time before. Retrofit, but usually that should work. It is a get request. Retrofit me. Okay, this is an interface, and we do something like get. I don't know what happened to my autocomplete. It suddenly kicked in just now, and that API call number is Fibonacci numbers, FIB numbers. So this pretty much should cover. And in the API client, we forgot one thing, which is dot base URL. In the base URL, we'll write something like HTTP localhost colon 3000. Yeah, this, or you can simply do 127 point, which is the same thing. So API call got covered, and it is taking a Fibonacci, and this Fibonacci, let me create this documentation. So what we are sending right now in the Fibonacci, we are sending FIB numbers, something like so val FIB numbers, and which is of again type of list of integers. And in order for Moshi to pick this up, we should do something like JSON target. Arey yaar, I don't know why my smart typing is not working. Let's go to the documentation again. Again, source of truth is documentation always. This is good that I'm showing you how to get to the documentation and not remember anything. This is for your good. So whenever you have to do certain things, this is how you do it. So in the documentation, we'll search how to create the code generation part. And this may we have to search for something like JSON. So this is converting, and this is also converting from and to. In order to generate this class, we need something like generate. So this is where it is. JSON class generate adapter is equal to true. Copy paste it. And in here, this tag I know it should be JSON. Yeah, it is JSON, and which is of name FIB numbers. So what's happening? Only named arguments are available for Java annotations. Achha, okay. It is asking me to name this argument, and okay, this part is done. And if we go to the repository layer, so in the repository layer, as we said before, we don't want this view model to know. We don't want this view model to know where the data is coming from. So we can remove this right now. We let us know. We don't want this view model to know where the data is coming from. So it can be either from the API database or whatever it is, just pass it as a constructor in here. So if we tomorrow if we have some extra thing like if we have a database, we can do the database in here. So it should be coming from the constructor itself. So right now our only source is the API, so we pass it the API to here. And Abhi, isme this should also be a suspend function, and it is supposed to return the list of integers, and we can do something like with context dispatchers.io. So that means it is running on the IO thread, and we open this one. So what we can do, API dot, sorry, this should be van. We can do API dot get FIB numbers, and we can pass a number to it. So this should pretty much cover everything. So this val response, we are taking the response from here, and we if response dot is successful, then we'll return that response dot body dot FIB numbers. I guess this, and if in the else case may what we can do, we can throw some error, throw an exception of we can do message as data not available or something went wrong. Whatever the error message that you want to send, you can send it in here. We still there is some error. Okay, right, ठीक है. So अभी हमारा networking part भी हो गया, and if we go to the main view model, I know the video is getting little longer, but this is a general procedure that everyone has to follow. So val list of FIB number, we can do FIB numbers of type live data. So live data is something that we have to use it to update our UI. It respects the life cycle. That's why it's suggested to use, and it is of a list of type of integers. And अभी हम so let's first, before getting into this live data, let's write some functions. So in this view model, in the for the view model, we need repository in order to do anything. In order to get call the stuff, we need repository. And if we go to the our main activity class, we'll get many others, obviously. Let's comment it out. And in the main view model factory right now, it is showing us some error because it needs a repository. So we can do pass the repository in here, and coming to the API. So usually we do all these things with the Dagger, but right now I can't use a Dagger because complexity ज़्यादा बढ़ जाता है project में. I can do it in the next tutorial if I'm doing a Dagger part, and I can pass something like API client dot API. Okay, and our it is available in here. Repository is available to write. So अभी इसमें क्या करते हैं? One get numbers, get FIB numbers, and we can do something like repository dot. So again private one, and इसमें होता है repository dot get FIB numbers. This can take number and integer. If we don't pass anything, by default I'll take 20. And this repository dot get FIB numbers, it is saying some error. So suspending function should only be calling from another from a coroutine or another suspend function. So right now we have to create a coroutine. How we do that? Usually we do something like view model scope dot launch, but I don't want to use that extra library, so we can do this way. Val what you can do, job is equal to job, and val coroutine scope is equal to coroutine scope of job plus, sorry, plus dispatches dot main. Dispatches dot main is this should be running in the main thread. As we are doing, as we are shifting that thread to IO in here, this is safe to run in the main thread. So अभी इसको क्या करते हैं हम, coroutine scope dot launch, and इसमें we'll pass the number. So whenever we'll get the data, val data is equal to, we can simply update now. So okay, let it be there. And let's get to the results. Then we, once it happens, we can do log dot information FIB network, and we can do the data printing here. Okay, ठीक है. अभी let's run the project and see if we get some errors. Crash हो गए app. Oh, it's not crashed. Okay, I know how. I know why it's not crashed. We didn't call the main view model dot get FIV numbers, and we'll pass 30. Let's do 30, and these may, this function should be getting called, and we should be able to see the FIB network. So let's try to run it. So app is crashed right now. I'll tell you why. So the first error that we got is clear text communication. After the Android 8, it's not. We should be only using the HTTPS. But for this example, we can do something like use clear text traffic is equal to true, so that we can skip this error. Let's try to run it again. Yeah. We got one more error. This isn't expected. It says that failed to connect to 127. Okay. एक problem है कि that I didn't mention the user's permission, which is an internet, and I think I have to uninstall and install the app again. Let's do it. Uh, Now, right now, if you run it, right now everything should be going fine. It says failed to connect slash 127.3.0. Let me check if the application is running. 127.2000. Yeah, it works fine. And please make problem again. Connection refused to 3000. Acha, okay. I got it, the error, guys. The problem क्या है कि this emulator cannot find that 127 point, because this is not that this does not use that local host. So if you do the 127.0.1, the things won't work in here. इसके लिए भी एक IP address है, which is 10.0.2.2, I guess. If it's not, then I have to Google it. 10.0.2.2. Okay, let me try this ADB shell. ADB shell config. So I don't remember that command name. Okay, let me Google it. uh, Android emulator IP address. It is 10.0.2.2, right? Okay. If you do this, then it should be working. 10.0.2.2. Okay, let me try it in here. The post the API name. 10.0.2.2 colon 3000. See, it works. Okay, my guess is right, but I think I didn't add this port number, which is the mistake. Let's try to run it again. Okay, right now it got run. See, we got that numbers, 20 Fibonacci numbers. So once we got that numbers, now we are supposed to show it in the UI. How we do it? We can't return it from here because this is a blocking request. So whenever we get the data, we have to pass the live data to the UI. So from here we can do something like val data is equal to mutable live data, and we can do something like list of integers. So abhi what is private? Okay. And one more thing is whenever you are using this coroutine scope inside the on clear, it's your job to clear the uh, job dot cancel. अभी हो गया. And so for this we can do data dot value. Sorry, this can be something like FIB list. FIB list dot value is equal to data. So right now our live data got the value. So whenever this networking request completes, we'll get the data in this FIB list. So in the main activity, we can do uh, val, sorry, not val, main view model dot FIB list dot observe. This is a lifecycle owner. If you are passing it in the fragment, then you can do the view lifecycle owner here instead of this. And we'll get a callback with the data. So let's do it dot let. If it's not null, then we have to show it in the UI. With this, let's take it and put it into the adapter, implement karte, and instead of the list in here, we can do it. Abhi ho gaya. Right now you should be able to see all the integers in here. This is a very long video. Okay. See, you got all the numbers in this. In the next video, we'll see some other best practices like room database, and we'll do some more advanced cheese. So as this video got a little lengthy, so if you like this video, please do press that like button, and if you have any doubts, post it in the comment section. Right. See you guys. Mm.